Hello everyone, hope you're doing well and welcome to our opposition preview with Soph. We play Man United. It's Soph time from the ladies in red. How are you doing this evening?
I'm doing good, thank you. Better after obviously the game against Brentford. Put a smile on my face, a bit of positivity. But yeah, not too bad. Thanks for having me again. How are you?
I am good. I'm looking forward to wiping that smile off your face on Saturday afternoon, to be honest with you. Well, what do you make of your season so far then? Summarise how you think Man United are getting on.
Frustrating. I think that's the biggest word I can say about this season. I just think you never know what United is going to turn up. Obviously, of late, it's been woeful. But like the second half against Brentford, I thought was really impressive. I thought we really turned it around. A lot of people calling us Jekyll and Hyde FC because we just seem to have, I don't know at the minute, we haven't had a consistent 90 minutes for as long as I can remember. It always seems like one half is better than the other. I think Ralph, obviously, it's early days for him. I think these players needed a rocket up them and they needed a change. They needed some discipline. And I think he's coming in and kind of putting his foot down. And you've seen the fallout, we've seen all the rumours as well. I think that needed to happen. I think the air needed cleaning. And I'm hoping now, after that positive result, we can finally push on and go on a run. But like I say, you can't feel confident in that because we've been so inconsistent.
What do you make of Ralph? I mean, you spoke about like the off the pitch stuff there, but on the pitch, he seems very indecisive on formations. He's been there 9 games. You've had about 3 different formations under him. Bruno Fernandes had about 4 different positions, including the bench. How do you think Ragnicks getting on so far?
I think it's hard, isn't it? Because I think certain personnel we've said for a while aren't good enough for Manchester United, and he's kind of stuck with them players. And I feel like, I mean, it's come out that we're not going to sign anyone in January. I hope that isn't true. But it's like how much power has Ralph actually got to make that team his own? He's only working with obviously what's been handed to him. Do you know what I mean? So it's not really fully his team. And it's never really going to be fully his team unless something happens like different to the end of the season. But from my understanding, he's going to be moving on upstairs, and hopefully someone long term comes in. So I think for Ralph to come in, I think he's just trying to steady the ship, like I say, basically kick the players up the arse and give them a telling off. Really, that's what they've needed. I think that him doing that has unsettled many players, unsettled the dressing room and whatnot. But hopefully now we can finally clear out the players that, like I've said, just simply aren't good enough, and hopefully we can get a team that can compete again. And I think for Ralph, it's a case of doing as best he can this season, really, which is sad, really, to say that as a Manchester United fan.
Yeah, I was going to say, what's your expectations for the rest of the season? And I mean, you're still in Champions League. You've got a tough tie, and the league's looking a little bit ropey because other teams are in form, and you're sort of not so much in form.
Yeah.
What are you hoping for come May as a Man United fan?
When Ollie went and we got Ralph in, I thought that was a bit of ambition. I thought we could have stayed with Carrick and maybe just seen the season through. But I felt like getting a new manager in, we always talk about that new manager bounce. It was like we were actually trying to salvage the season. Obviously, top four for me should always be what we're aiming for at the minute. But as you've just said, it's going to be an absolute fight to get that because teams in and around us are in form. I'm just hoping that we go on a run. I still think like the Premier League is unpredictable. Teams will drop points. I don't think we're out of it. We've got Mr. Champions League, as you said, and it's unlikely, but you know what stranger things have happened in football. So a trophy would be nice this season. I'm not saying it will be the Champions League. Obviously, they've got the FA Cup as well. But I think a trophy, but getting back into Europe has to be crucial. You've got Cristiano Ronaldo who's not going to want to be playing not in Europe or in Europa. Like I just can't see that happening.
Who are you hoping comes in summer? If Ralph does move upstairs, what manager are you hoping to get in?
Ten Hag was the one that I've said from the off. I think that his philosophy, the way that he brings you through, the system that he's got at Ajax, he's built a great project there, and I think he's the most attractive option for us. I know we're linked with Poch again, and Poch knows the Premier League, and I think he's a great manager. But Ten Hag was always the one that I fancied, really.
What do you make of all the Ronaldo stuff? Obviously, that's been dominating the highlights, and I think it's taken a little bit of a backseat because he played against Brentford, so that sort of cooled it down for about 70 minutes, and then he got taken off, and it all stirred up again with his reaction. What do you make of the whole Ronaldo thing?
I love him. I think he's a winner. He's a champion, and I think like someone like him. Imagine just looking around you and just seeing the way that we have been playing. And don't get me wrong, he hasn't really been amazing of late as well, but he needs service. And I just feel like the lack of quality around him. I mean, like I say, it's Cristiano Ronaldo. Like it must be so frustrating for him. I'm never going to knock his attitude. I'm never going to knock his want to win, even if it means calling out other players. Because, like I say, I feel like that dressing room has needed it. And I'm just hoping, like I say, we can get into Europe and keep him there. I think his goals, without his goals, where would we be this season? It would be really concerning. A lot of people are saying he's a problem. I definitely don't think he's a problem. I do think that when he is playing, we do play differently. And I think maybe we need to try and fit our star players in. And obviously, that's Ralph's job, and that's the headache that he's got at the moment. But look, it's Cristiano Ronaldo. Like I say, his goals so far this season have been really important, especially in the Champions League for us. So hopefully he can continue to score. And obviously had a little contribution with a little chest pass as well against Brentford. I know he was angry that he came off, but again, he still showed what he can bring to this side.
Yeah, I don't mind it personally. I think there's a time and a place for being animated. I think it's the wrong time, but I think it's the right attitude to have. I think you should be more
Yeah,
concerned
yeah,
if he's happy to come off the pitch. I always find that a bigger worry if a player's
yeah. I don't
happy
read
not to be
into that.
involved in stuff.
Yeah.
So I'm a bit like yourself. I don't read too much into it. Let's talk about a couple of players then. Is there anyone that's disappointed you this season? I imagine there's a few, but who's disappointed you the most?
How long we got? How
As
long
long as you
we got?
won.
um, many players. To be honest with you, obviously we keep talking about McFred. Keep talking about the Fred ache I get every weekend after seeing that midfield. It's so frustrating. There's been a lot. Obviously, Luke Shaw as well. Harry Maguire, after the height of the Euros to the form that they've had for us, obviously, has been really disappointing as well. I think it's easier for me to talk about the ones I've been impressed with, if I'm honest with you. I think there's that many that I've been disappointed with, but De Gea has been, for me, player of the season, easily this season
Yeah.
again. So many quality saves, keeping us in games where we scrape through, and people forget about the chances that the opposition have had, and they kind of focus on the fact that we've scraped through. I've used the Wolves game as an example where we got obviously at their place and we got the winner right at the end. We didn't deserve that. That's just one example. There's been many games that are similar to that, and De Gea has just kept us in that game really and given us that hope. So I think De Gea has been amazing, and I've already mentioned Ronaldo's goals as well. I think that deserves a mention with the lack of quality around him as well. It's kind of saved us a bit this season. So yeah, it's probably easier for me to mention the positives than the negatives at the minute.
That was my next question, but I like the fact that you only had one player. And let's talk about the positive to here, right? And then we'll move
Yeah,
on to the
that's it.
next topic. That's very much. I have to
Alanga, I
agree
can
with
say
you.
Alanga.
Yeah. I have to agree. I did the preview goals, and I was saying I think De Gea has been the best keeper in the Premier League this season. I wrote him off a couple of years ago. I thought he was done. I thought that season when Dean Henderson was at Sheffield United, funny enough, and was like player of the year for Sheffield United. De Gea seemed to be completely out of sorts at Man U, and it seemed quite an obvious transition. And it's funny, really, because Ollie's the one that almost repaired De Gea, if you like, got him back into his mentally back to a world class goalkeeper. Then it's like, right, off you go. And the new manager can benefit from what you've done with the goalkeeper situation there. I think most managers would have just taken Henderson and binned off De Gea. But I have to agree, I think he's been the best keeper in the Premier League. And I'll defend McTominay, thank you very much. Maybe not the
I like
partnership with
McTominay.
Fred, but McTominay on
Yeah, I
his
like
own.
McTominay. Yeah.
I'll fight you. I thought him in his new role against Brentford in that sort of number 6, if you like. I thought he was just man of match. I think he's been probably your best player along with De
He's
Gea
our most
under.
consistent. Yeah, he's
Yeah,
our most consistent player. And I'm not saying he's a 10 out of 10 every week. He's not. He's probably more of a 7 or 8 every week. But you know what you get him with Scott McTominay. He's going to put his body on the line. He's going to scrap in the middle. And when he's most effective, he said, like against Brentford, we saw it on many occasions when he's doing those driving runs through the midfield. When he gets in his stride, you can't stop him. And that's when he's most effective. But you are right, that partnership with Fred, it just doesn't work. For whatever reason, it just does not work. I don't think we retain the ball well enough in there. But I'm not slating McTominay. I do like him as a player.
That's Fred's fault.
But I don't know what it is. Maybe we need to find his right spot, Scotty, as to where he fits in. Maybe with better quality around him, he'll shine a bit more as well. But yeah, I'm not sitting here saying I think McTominay should be sold or anything like that. I think we should keep McTominay for sure. But he's just not a glamorous player. I think he goes under the radar a little bit because he isn't, I don't know, like an Iniesta style midfielder. Do you know what I mean? He's one of them who gets the dirty work and he does the gritty work in there.
Right, enough about Man U. Let's talk about my team. Let's talk about West Ham. What do you make of us? What are you thinking?
On your day, I think you're unplayable, to be honest with you. I think you've got certain players. Fornals, obviously, he's popped up with a few goals. Bowen, I think, has been a standout this season as well. He's impressed me, to be fair. He's impressed me. I was thinking, like last season, I was thinking, he's all right. He's not consistent enough, but this season, I think he's really stepped up his levels. Antonio, I've talked about him many times on here. And Declan Rice, I don't think I have to say too much about that. You know my opinions on him and where I'd like to see him ending up as well.
Yeah, for the new people, when Soph come on here, I don't know, a couple of years ago maybe, she did say Declan Rice, get him at Old Trafford, top midfielder. So when the jury was out among the neutrals, you were very colours unmasked. I'm a Declan Rice fan as well. I guess the big question is, can we finish fourth? Can West Ham finish fourth? Obviously, we're in a direct rivals to you, if you like. And if we get it means you probably missed out and vice versa. But do you think it's realistic for West Ham to be aiming for fourth this season?
I think it is. I think a big thing is keeping players fit. And if you get new players in like Jesse Lingard, for example, and bolster your squad a bit more as well, get that squad depth, then I don't see why not. I think Moyes is doing a great job there. And like I say, teams are going to drop points. I think this season in particular, like there's been some sporadic results already, and I think teams will drop points. And it's about really who can go on the best run. I think consistency is going to be key, and keeping players fit, like I say, is going to be essential as well. But with your squad and the way that you've started this season, I don't see why not. Like I say, on your day, I think you've been quality. The only thing is Europe, and obviously with your squad, will you be able to cope with that? Obviously going on later into the season. But what's your opinion? Like, do you believe that you can get top four?
It depends on who we sign in January, I think. At the
Yeah,
minute, we've also not signed anyone. If we can get in 2 quality ones, and I mean quality ones, I don't mean squad filler, padding out the numbers type signings. I think we'll be okay to compete in Europe and try and push for 4th. But as it stands, I just think this squad's too thin for us. We saw last
yeah,
week, so that we played Leeds, Norwich, Leeds, and when we played Leeds the second time and got beat by them, Moyes very much used the 3 games in a week as an excuse. And I thought, well, hang on, what are you going to do? Because in March, we've got Premier League, Europa League, Premier League, and you're going to have to field the first 11 in all 3 games, essentially.
yeah.
So I'm a bit hesitant. I don't think we'll finish 4th. I'd like to think we can make a push for it, but while we are sort of wobbling a little bit at the moment, other teams around us are getting stronger by the looks of it and clicking and just grinding out results, I guess. And it's not a good thing for us or you, really, because you'll be thinking the same when Tottenham are 2-1 down in the 94th minute and they somehow go on to win. You think, oh, come on, we need a bit of a break, and that ain't it. It is a bold prediction time, and I'm not going to hold you to this, but who is going to finish 4th in the Premier League? Let's assume it goes Man City, Liverpool, Chelsea. Who's getting that 4th spot? Who do you think's favourites at the moment?
I'll never bet against United. I'm just hoping that we can go on a run. So I'm going to say Man United. I can't not say it. Cristiano Ronaldo has got to get into the Champions League, surely. So yeah, I'm not betting against us. I still think we can turn this round.
I'll bet against you. Don't worry. I'm happy to bet.
I'm sure you will.
I will. I think we'll finish above you. To be honest, I'm not saying we'll get 4, but I think we'll finish ahead of you this season. But let's turn our focus to Old Trafford on Saturday afternoon. How do you see the game going?
Tight. I think it's going to be a tight game. Obviously, first time around between us, it was as well. Yeah, I'm just hoping that we're confident going into it, because if we're not at it, like say West Ham, they're going to fight. Definitely going to be a tough game for us. And if we don't turn up, we'll get punished. Simple as that. If they're mentally in the right space, we'll get punished. And I do think that possibly be 1 goal between us. I'm just hoping that it's to the red side, the Red United, rather than West Ham, because I genuinely think it'll be that close. I can't sit here and confidently say, "Oh, we're going to win," but I can't remember last time I did feel that confident as a United fan, to be honest.
Yeah, I feel good. I feel good heading into the game. So if I think we were rubbish last weekend, we turn up like we did last weekend, you'll win easily. Hands down, you will win. And you'll potentially wipe the floor with us. But one thing that Ralf did against Brentford, which almost encourages me as a non-Man United fan, is when you went 2-0 up, he switched to back 3. And I know the reason he's done it, because against Villa, he wanted to do it, but he didn't. And then he ended up dropping points. So he's sort of learned his lesson. And I don't know why. I think if somehow you went 2-0 up against us on Saturday, I think I'd fancy us a little bit. I think you're going to sit back and let us come on to you. Now, that does suit Man U, because then you can play counter-attacking football. And you saw his sub worked wonders, bringing Rashford on to stretch the defence and stuff. But
we've been conceding goals, though.
Yeah, I don't know. When I saw it, I thought, oh, strange. It's almost like I feel like you're almost too big a club to do it, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? I know you're no longer the club you were, but it just feels a bit like a Mourinho thing to do, funnily enough, who's someone else you tried and tested and you didn't like his ways, and it's a bit of a Mourinho thing to do. At 2-0, just shut the game down a little bit. Can I get any final words from yourself ahead of the game, as well as your score prediction? For the people that are new around here, she always goes for Man United win. Even if she doesn't fancy it, she still goes for Man United win.
I do. It's right. I fancied us for top 4, and I haven't said that at all, but I can't bet against us. It's not in me. I'm going to say 2-1 Man United win. Like I said, I think it's going to be really close. I still think we'll concede. I think we might be clinging on. I think De Gea is going to be called upon many times, but I'm just hoping we can scrape a win. I think the result is more, I know it sounds cliche, but the result is more important than the performance for us at this point anyway. So yeah, 2-1 to us. What's your prediction?
2-1 West Ham. I'm hoping your midweek game comes back to haunt you a little bit. Moyes used as an excuse for us dropping points against Leeds. Well, surely then that's got to be a reason for us to go and have an advantage over Man United on Saturday. You can't have it both ways, in my opinion. You can't use it when you lose. Then when the other team's got a fixture congestion, say, "Oh no, it doesn't count anymore." You've got to have it the same for both. So, but I think we'll make it count. I do. I don't know why. Whenever I've seen quite a lot of you recently, you've been on the TV a lot, which helps. So the last 2 games against Villa, your Brentford game, I've seen them. You played Wolves recently. I watched that as well. And there's bits and bobs that impresses me, but overall, not enough.
We've not been convincing at all. Like that's what I was
No.
saying. Like even the games we have won, we've relied on De Gea a lot, and we've rode our luck or VAR, for example. Like we just haven't had a convincing win. We haven't had a convincing 90 minutes. And I'm just hoping, and I keep saying, I'm hoping today's the day. I'm hoping today's the day that we click. And Brentford, the second half, to be fair, like I said, it was impressive. But again, the first half, we could against you guys, the game could be gone at that point. Do you know what I mean? So I just feel like we need to be more clinical, especially from the off of the start of the game as well.
I think he's found the right formation for you, by the way, that 4-3-3. I think that's the right
Yeah,
formation for
it's better than
you.
the 2-2-2 that we are doing.
Yeah, Bruno looked a completely different player in the last couple of games, playing a little bit deeper, gets on the ball a little bit more. But you're correct when you say it's just not clicking. There's something still a little bit wrong. I don't think Greenwood's quite working with Ronaldo and so on and stuff. And I think it'd be a while for Ralf to work out his best team, if you like. I don't think he has his best 11 at the moment.
No.
Whereas I think with West Ham, I think you know what David Moyes' starting 11 is. If everybody's fit, we as West Ham fans could get 10 at least of the starting 11 just like that, easy. With Man Utd, I don't think you've got that with Ralf, and it'll take him a little while to work it out. And between now and then, I think you'll probably drop a few points, including on Saturday. Anyway, shall we leave it there, my friend?
Yeah, we will. Thank you again for having me on. I appreciate it.
If you want to see more of Soph, the link to her channel's in the description below. If you've enjoyed this video, drop a like on it, subscribe if you're new around here. Myself, Gonzo, and Soph at some point. We'll catch you in a bit.